Hello everybody, Ben Woodruff here with another Falconry video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the most strikingly beautiful falcons on the planet, and that is the Bat Falcon. It's even got a cool name, Bat Falcon. It's awesome. It's a really cool bird. These birds are very unique, very beautiful, very stunning, very agile, but you know what? This video you're about to see is actually cut out of a clip. This is a clip from a much longer video I did where I cover all the different species of hobby falcons and their related sister lineages. So I've cut this out and I'm making this into its own little video here today that you're about to see. So if I talk in it and if my verbiage is referencing other birds earlier in the video, it's because it's part of that long form video. If you want to see that video, go ahead, check out in the description down below. I'll have a link to it so you can watch and see all the relatives of the Bat Falcon. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy learning about Bat Falcons. The Bat Falcon is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. They live in Mexico, Central America, and South America. And they're small. These are little birds. They are 108 grams to 242 grams. They branched off, genetics show, they branched off from the hobby lineage, and you can see it. Hobby falcons, one of the things I always say, hobbies have a face that looks like they ran into a wall. Their beak is more blunted in. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And also, from a front view, they have that hobby-shaped face where the eyes are up a little too high and the face is a little smushed down. You come from that hobby lineage, you have that. So they come from that line, but oh, they look so New World. Their coloration is so rich and so thick. They have just these amazing colors. But I'll get to that in a second. They hunt birds, and they hunt bats, and they hunt insects. So pretty standard hobby falcon in that sense. And you can see, if you see the patterning, you're like, okay, yeah, you can see, again, like any member of the hobby lineage, have those red flanks, kind of have that on the adults, the dark in the chest, and kind of lighter up top, smushed face, and kind of well-defined here on the cheeks. Now, when they're young, it's different. When they're young, it's the colorations are more muted, and then they get the vibrant colors as an adult. But as an adult, it's just a really rich, distinct, vibrant, thick, well-defined, color morph version of a hobby. They're not as wispy as a hobby. They are, if you look at their wingspan, you can still see hobbies all have those kind of dinky primaries where the individual primary feathers themselves are narrower and longer and more swift. Like, you do have that, but overall, it's a more compact bird for its size. They seem to fill a very similar role specifically to the Oriental hobby. The Oriental hobby and how it hunts and when it hunts. Bat falcons are very similar in that bat falcons are somewhat crepuscular, which means you have diurnal animals, that's daytime, nocturnal is night. Crepuscular is you like to go a few hours before and after dawn and a few hours before and after dusk. They love to hunt bats. It's one of their absolute favorite things. And in the tropics where they live, there are an awful lot of bats. And of course, one of their favorite places to roost and to nest is on giant Mesoamerican ruins, like Mayan ruins, like Tikal is one where there's nesting pairs in it. Chichen Itza. There's these nest sites. A lot of times they'll just take, because a lot of these Mayan ruins, it's like they're these big towering places and they're overlooking open ground. That open ground gives way for things like insects, and the insects are going to get hunted by the bats. And so you just nest up there on top of these ruins and you just fly out and catch bats that are hunting insects. So it just draws them in. It's kind of really interesting in that way. Now, I'm going to bring just up as a side point too. There's two birds that in Mayan lore that are always kind of brought up, and that is the laughing falcon and the Bat Falcon. The laughing falcon is the messenger of the gods. And so this is a bird that also frequents Mayan ruins, because the open areas near these ruins bring in rodents, which bring in snakes, which brings in laughing falcons, because laughing falcons like to hunt snakes. Now, for ancient Mayan lore, the laughing falcon is the messenger of the gods. And So, you know, it's laughing, the calls it makes. It's kind of an interesting bird. So that's kind of a side point, but I think it's interesting to bring it up. I haven't been down to Mesoamerican ruins. I want to desperately. I would love to go to Tikal or Chichen Itza. But one of the things, if you ever get the chance, keep an eye out for the Bat Falcons. They're almost always on the top of the temples, nesting or at least hunting from those vantage points. And again, at the edge of the big flat areas right in front of ruins, you can often find laughing falcons sitting there hunting. So good thing to watch for. Bat falcons are so beautiful and so little. They're tiny, but they're really cool. I haven't gotten the chance to work with them. I'd love to someday. But again, I never would have made the connection of thinking them as being related to hobbies. But once you know it, and once you know the patterns on a Eurasian hobby, and how, you know, where the patterns and where things grow, you can see it's just a much more defined and dense and deeply, richly pigmented version of a hobby. And that's pretty cool and pretty wild. So that is the Bat Falcon. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Hope you enjoyed learning about Bat Falcons. If you ever get a chance to see them in the wild, go for it. Especially remember, if you're at any Mesoamerican ruins, especially in Guatemala and Mexico, and some of the in Central America, if any of these ruins that you have, they love to nest, roost, and hunt from these ruins, and it's almost a surefire thing to see them. So keep your eyes peeled if you're ever going on vacation. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, if you could hit subscribe, I very much appreciate it. It helps me keep this channel up and going. And as always, happy hawking.